Yeah, get it. Welcome one, welcome all, ladies and gentlemen. It is NFC North Talk with your host, Russell Wayne. That is me right here. We are broadcasting live in the Mike the Bear fan. We are broadcasting live in the Detroit Lions villain squad. We are broadcasting live into the Detroit Lions news and NFC North main event. Yes. So we are here. This is the NFC North Talk, but today specifically, we're going to hit these PFF grades. And yes, I did make a mistake. I'm just sitting here trying to make the poster for this morning, and Scotty Reno pointed this out right here. Right off the get-go, yes, I made a mistake on my flyer this morning. I was making it 5 minutes before we went on today. And yeah, I apologize. I am not perfect. But yes, I put the wrong team in there. That was the banner from last week. It was what you call the clicking error right there. Good morning, NFC North. Good morning, Cody. Good morning to Bear Down Mike. Good morning to Jordan. Good morning to Sarah. Good morning, Joyce. These are my everyday here. John Popberry, what's going on? John, what's going on? Man, I haven't seen you in a while. A-Dub in the house. Calling it now. Lions win 21-13 over the Ravens. This is a big week right here. We've been waiting for this week. My son and I, we go to one away game every year, so we will be leaving Saturday night and driving to Baltimore to watch the Lions take on the Baltimore Ravens. And wow, what a big game this could be, right? Like when it comes from the Lions standpoint here is I know a lot of us probably didn't think that we were going to be right here where we're at, which is 5-1. Like even with some of the, 11, 12 win predictions, I mean, that was a pretty brutal beginning schedule when it comes to facing KC, then facing the Seattle Seahawks, and then the Green Bay Packers away. And, a lot of people at the beginning of the season were looking at that and thinking, I mean, we could get there's where we could get a couple losses. And then we hit the stretch of the schedule that seems a little bit lighter after this game. You got the Raiders on Monday night, then you got a bye. I mean, then you get the Bears twice, you get the Vikings twice, you get the Green Bay Packers again at home on Thanksgiving. So the schedule seems to be playing out nice for the Lions, and they're built to win. They're built to go deep. They've had crazy injury problems the first 6 weeks and whatever. Next man up. No excuses. Everyone else wants to use them as excuses, but not us. Just go in there, take care of business. You know what I'm saying? Hey, peoples. Detroit fan mans. What's going on? I don't know. What are you trying to do in there? What are you trying to do in there, Joyce? Don't be hitting people up. You're going to get banned. You're going to get banned from my chat if you try spamming the people that are watching this show. And we look out for you guys. We have admins. We're not perfect. We don't hit everything. But when I see those little, you're throwing links in there, the TME, don't open that up, John Potberry. Don't open that up. Get the hell out of here with all that spam. Morning, all. Good morning to Single Dads Club. Good morning. I'm dressing up Monday night to attend our massacre on live TV when we play San Francisco. Yes, Sarah, I apologize. I know that you guys had already went in and have you guys played Kansas City? Yeah, you guys already played Kansas City, right? And I probably had that from a couple of weeks ago, and I apologize for putting the wrong guy in there. Yeah, tough game though. Got to go play San Francisco. San Francisco, mad San Francisco. But is it San Francisco without Christian McCaffrey? That's what you got to ask, right? Is Christian McCaffrey going to play? Let's see. Jordan says, I missed Victory Monday show. Oh, well, the cool thing is you can go back and you can watch the replays. And that is such a nice thing. That is such a nice thing. Being able to go back and hit the replay, because not everybody can be here at 11 a.m. Some people work for a living, not like me, who just sits here in front of a camera, talks about football. Rob Newsom says, I envy you. Yes, we're going to Baltimore, baby. The Kool-Aid is flowing in Detroit right now. It's like the best start since 2011 right now. And if they win this game, and how poetic would it be? Main Event Mike brought this up over the weekend, and I just, I'm into art. I'm a musician. But I am in to the poetic part of last year, starting out 1-6 and having the opportunity to do a complete 180 in a year, watching all these young guys that they've drafted, that Brad Holmes has drafted over the last couple years, watch them progress, watch this team get better without even adding pieces, just all these guys growing and learning together and keeping the experience on the offensive line. You got $100 million invested in that offensive line. You got to keep Jared Goff clean. It feels good. It feels good. So let's get into some of these PFF grades. I'm glad I got to say hello to everybody on this, but in this Tampa Bay versus Detroit game, on the offense, it seemed like we had a little bit of a struggle right here. Amon-Ra St. Brown obviously was our best graded player, having 12 catches for like $120 in a touchdown, a big touchdown where Craig Reynolds laid maybe the block of the year. And even if you're from one of the other fan bases, Bear fan, Viking fan, Packer fan, if you saw that block that Craig Reynolds laid out on that Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown, you would respect that. You would respect that. Because that was one hell of a block. He completely reversed the field. That was something else. But yes, coming in at a grade of 84.4 overall, right there, that was our best graded player. That Tampa Bay defense was pretty good. Jared Goff was the second highest graded player at a 75.1, and then Penei Sewell had himself a game at 73.1. Josh Reynolds at a 68.8, and Graham Glasgow at a 68.8. Most of the players, when I'm looking through here, had in the 60s. They all played pretty good, considering that they went up against a very, very good defense. I had Levante Davis and Jamal Dean and Vita Vea right up front. Frank Ragnow had a hard time trying to hold him back, but at the end of the day, they got the business done against a very physical team. They went down to Tampa with their guys. They said, hey, we got to go down there, Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield's been running his mouth and trying to think that he's all good and stuff. So we're going to send a couple guys down to Tampa and we're going to straighten this guy up a little bit. And we left, got on the plane, came home, and then realized that now Baker was seeing things our way right there as these Detroit villains, the villains are coming through. Right there. Look at those hungry lions right there. That's a raven on the table. He's about ready to feast. It was a good show last night with NFC North open mic with Main Event Mike. He was keeping it real in there. Not too many people want to run their mouths right now because there's not very much competition in the NFC North right now. This is usually a trash talking type of thing, but three of the teams don't really have anything to talk trash about. But I would like to hear from the other three fan bases. And I want to know, What do you think about these Lions? And is this real? Is this fool's gold? Or are you on John Dorn's side? Is this fool's gold? Or are you finally going to
acknowledge me?
Give us the respect that we are out there going and earning out there? And I don't care who we played, guys. That's 4 double-digit wins in a row. And you can go ahead. You're allowed to say, we'll wait and you go and win the division first. That's fair. That's fair. But there are, if you want to, you can say, all right, I acknowledge that this team is a good team, that it isn't just good on paper. It is now, in fact, good in reality. I mean, you can wait for it to play out because that's what it is. This team is good in reality, even if they do lose games, and they will. But if they do lose games, it's going to be a fight.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
Because they're a tough, physical team. We're that team. We're that team. And looking at these scores, they're willing to fight. They're willing to go in there and get ugly. The offense is willing to go down there and win ugly because the defense plays ugly. And that's a good ugly. That's a good ugly for us. Let's look at this defense right here. I want to bring it up here. Cameron Sutton, the number 1 graded player. Hey, John Dorn, you've been a ghost in here. Every once in a while you talk trash, but I'm going to call you out on this. You keep on running down the players, but these guys keep on proving you wrong over and over again. Not only is Cam Sutton a good cornerback, but he's one of the best cornerbacks in the league. They won't even throw over to his side. They're picking on the other players. They're picking on the other players on the team. And those guys, Alex Anzalone at an 81.6, Romeo Okwara at a 77.5, Jerry Jacobs, he's that guy. Jerry Jacobs, you win after him. You win after him because you don't have the balls to go after Cam Sutton. And when you do, bad things happen. But you went after Jerry Jacobs, and Jerry Jacobs balled out. So that didn't work out for you. So the guys are stepping up. Aleem McNeil with another big game. He's in his 3rd year right now. He's breaking out right in front of our very eyes as a defensive tackle. You want to know why we didn't draft Jalen Carter? Aleem McNeil sitting right there. Oh, the next player up, Benito Jones. There's another defensive tackle, higher graded player. Jack Campbell at a 66.7, an 86.5 run defense grade, an 80 tackling grade. Jack Campbell, the 18th overall pick, is a tackling machine. And now they're starting to get him out there now. Now some of these rookies are starting to get their sea legs. Trying to starting to play well. They're starting to understand things. Things are starting to slow down a little bit. They got the depth. So that's a pretty good show out right there. Defensively, this is one of the best defenses in football. Because all of these guys, Kirby Joseph didn't really have that great of a game, but he was still a good tackler in that game. The lowest graded players weren't even that bad. Aiden Hutchinson was one of the lowest graded players on our defense this week on the Lions. One of the lowest graded players. Aiden Hutchinson's PFF grade was a 59.8. So it isn't just Aiden Hutchinson. He's not the only guy on the defense. Levi Onwuzurike had 2 pressures. Julian Okwara had the sack. And we were talking about him not even making the team. So let's check out these comments. Let's see what we got in here and here. Let's get up here. Hurts does not look the same without Stetchen. Hurts definitely looks different. Yep. And here's these teams 2 weeks ago, you're telling us as Lions fans that we need to pump the brakes, that we're not in the category of San Francisco. We're not in the category of The Philadelphia Eagles, I got to call bullshit on that. Philadelphia Eagles just lost to the Jets. The Jets. San Francisco just lost to the Browns. And you're going to tell me after 4 double-digit wins that you're not going to put us in that same category? I'm not saying we're better than those two teams. But we're a juggernaut. We're standing right there with them. Scotty Reno. He's agreeing with you. Scotty Bivens is agreeing with you. One Funky Lions fans says even Tampa Bay will call that black and black of the year. With that black of the year? Or the block. The block, I can't even read today. The block of the year. Tampa Bay fans will call that the block of the year. The block of the year. Rob Newsom says that hit Walker made was nice. I don't know how that guy held onto the ball. Bam! That's right. Putting the hits on him, playing physical. That's the kind of game that you want to have. A physical game. That hit, that block that Craig Reynolds threw in on that Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown. I was like, wow. What a great hit that was. And that was completely reversed field. That wasn't in the game plan. That wasn't part of the play. Was the completely reversed field. Amon-Ra pointed. Craig Reynolds went out there and knocked somebody out. I love it. Love it. Great program. But I need to sign off now. Trying to listen and work isn't working. LOL. Have a great time in Baltimore. I will be looking for you on TV. Well, yeah, you're going to have to go to the nosebleeds because we didn't get very good seats. I think Baltimore has some fans out there, and I don't think are going to be as friendly to sell their tickets to Lions fans as Tampa Bay is. You know, Tampa Bay is kind of a vacation spot. Everybody just kind of goes down there. Everybody retires down there. You got some dough, you go down to Tampa and you're hanging out. You're retiring. You're living life. So, like Ken Doby said the other day, that a lot of teams travel well into Tampa, but there's something special about this Lions team, the way that they're traveling. I guess it's a little bit more. They're showing up. The Lions fans are coming out of the woodworks. We've been starving. Get in the basement. You've been in the basement for so long, you come out and start seeing the light. Bright light. Yeah. Scotty says, no, all we have to do is stay healthy enough and we will destroy. That's the funny thing, Scott. That's the funny thing, is we haven't been healthy and we're still destroying. If we what happens if we get healthy is look out. Like, we're going to get healthy here soon. We got 2 more games until the bye, and I think that they're going to get some loaded back. Yeah. Sarah says, I'm already short. Don't bite my kneecaps.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
Yeah, it's that type of thing. Bear down, Mike. We will beat the Raiders. I hope you can beat the Raiders, Rashnish. That's what I was saying about them Packers last week. You had to take some pleasure in that, right? Watching the Packers. I mean, they get to go on a bye, but they lost to the Raiders. You let Devontae Adams in like a 30-yard game get revenge on you with Jimmy G. Oh, you guys in there. I just got to bring that back up there. Uh-oh. Gosh, I really I predicted that the Packers would win this game by double digits. So I was wrong on this one, and I was sometimes you're happy to be wrong, You make a lot of predictions when you got a show. and you got to be on here and you make a lot of predictions. You got to have the courage to put yourself out there on these. Let me get into these Minnesota Chicago PFF scores right here. I mean, this is an NFC North show here, but I love the good conversation. I appreciate the good conversation. So let's look at this. Let's start with the Minnesota Viking offense, where I'm telling you, like, as much as I do not like paying these giant contracts to tight ends, these tight ends, or at least Josh Oliver, this is the third week he's been your highest graded tight end. Josh Oliver coming in at a 91.5. That's a great game. That's a great game by PFF standards. Christian Darrisaw, I mean, that's a real deal left tackle right there. 85.3. Kirk Cousins coming in, another good game. You like that? By Kirk Cousins, your franchise quarterback. Why didn't you extend him? I have no idea why you wouldn't want to extend this guy for 3 years, even if you're going to draft a quarterback. This guy's a good quarterback, and God, they need to put some respect on his name. Ryan O'Neal coming in at a 78.5. Garrett Bradbury, your center. Ezra Cleveland. I mean, you got a good gut, Sarah. You got good guts on that Minnesota Viking team in the middle of that offensive line. I mean, even if you don't believe in Cousins, I know that you don't believe in Cousins, but that is a good offensive line. That's a good and young offensive line. So you throw Justin Jefferson some money. You know, you got that rookie wide receiver and Addison, Jefferson, Hawkinson, and Oliver. You pick yourself up a running back, draft a quarterback. You might be all right. You might be all right. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm having a hard day today, Single Dads Club. It's block rust. It's not black. It's not blue on black. I'm not seeing very well today. I put the wrong. I can't even use the poster I made because I put Minnesota playing against the wrong team. But I don't pretend that I'm perfect. I'm just a dude with a podcast. I'm not affiliated with the Lions. We don't get paid by the Lions. We don't get paid by nobody. We just do this because we love it. Maybe one day we could be rich and famous. Maybe I can support my family like this someday. But for the time being, I just get to talk to you all you fine folks. In the morning, 11 a.m. Football talk with Russell Wayne. That's NFC North style. We may extend out into other things, but for right now, we're just Lions fans that run an NFC North show. Because you know why I like talking about the other teams? And I'll tell you, it wasn't easy in 2021 when they started out 0-8. It wasn't easy in 2022 when they started out 1-6. But it is cool to get the other the other takes from the other sides. How do they view your team? It's an interesting thing to see how other people view your team, especially if you're drinking your own Kool-Aid. My team's the greatest in the world. Someone's like, yeah, fool's gold. That's where Dorn keeps us in check. We're going to keep you in check because love stinks. Because love stinks. Love stinks. And to me, he's at this place where he's got to prove it now because he's been bad enough that he's got to come out of that. You got to throw better than 50%. But Aiden, there you go. There's Aiden. Good morning, Russell. What a big week. Week 9, good job with the news about Jack Campbell. Yes, I know that you are a huge Jack Campbell fan, and I am happy to have reported that this dude is a tackling machine. Like, I've been wanting to say some good stuff about him, but I can't just like talk about the guy if he's not playing out there, right? I can't like do a whole segment on Jack Campbell if he doesn't play as much, you know what I'm saying? But this week, they put him out there. They gave him about 20 more snaps than they had been. So they're weaning him into this offense, and he had an outstanding day. He had a great day tackling. I think he had 7, 8 tackles or something like that. And he was decent in coverage, and his run defense is, I mean, this guy is like a suction cup to the ball. Like as soon as he sees that, I mean, he goes right to the ball. He doesn't take plays off. And that was one of the things that I noticed on the Sunday night game and the Monday night game, is I'm watching these other teams, um, and I watched the way that these guys play at the end of plays. Like even when the play is getting tackled by somebody else, how some of the people just kind of like lay back. And a couple of these tackles were like, like breakout tackles. They come out of a pile and then they keep running. It's like, no, you got to finish the play. And that's one thing that Jack Campbell, you can always count on him to do, is finish the play. So thank you for the comment, Aiden, right there. And as I'm going through these grades right here, that was, I mean, we were just doing the Minnesota offensive grades in there, and it's the offensive line. I mean, your other players, your running backs, I mean, Hawkinson didn't have a very good game either. Your wide receivers, all of those guys need to step it up, because your offensive line is doing its job. They're giving Kirk time, and they're not getting it done. So, but they did win that game. You did beat the Chicago Bears. So, kudos to you for that. Let's check out these defensive grades. Yeah, not your highest graded player was a 76.3, which is okay. Let's see, we've got not enough snaps right there, but Jonathan Bullard at number 1, DJ Wonnum at number 2. So you got your left and your outside linebacker. Josh Metellus was playing good. I was watching him. Your nose tackle right there, Tonga. That's an old Ohio State. That's a Buckeye right there, coming in at a 73.4. Harrison Smith is having a good year. Another good game for him, 68.7. Byron Murphy bounces back after having a bad game, comes in at a 68.4. Honorable mentions to Ivan Pace and Andrew Booth Jr. is spotted as having a decent game right there. So not too bad. You didn't play against a very good offense, but all you can do is play the people that are in front of you. So we're not going to make excuses for that. So good game out of the Minnesota defense for the most part. You're looking at most of the guys in the 60s with their grades all the way down 13 deep. So that's a pretty consistent performance throughout the game. So let's look at these Chicago Bears. And it's not all bad, guys. I'm not gonna beat you up too bad. Let me get into these comments before a little bit. I want to see, what is our YouTube channel? Oh, I am so glad that you asked right there. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to throw the YouTube link of this program is going to go into the comments of whatever platform that you watch, whether you're watching from Bill the Packer fan or Mike the Bear fan or wherever you're watching from. I'm going to throw the link to the YouTube into the comments. And if you can take the time, go over there, hit the like button on the video and subscribe to the channel. We would really, really appreciate it. We got 24 people watching on there right now, 9 likes. So if you're hearing the words that are coming out of my mouth right now, real quick, just hit that like button. It's free. It helps us out. And if you're watching us right now, obviously you like football, and that's what we like to talk about. So Sarah says, Lions finally came out of their darkness retreat. Yes. I feel like we've been in there with Aaron Rodgers. And we don't even know what to do with our hands right now. I mean, I want to jump up and down, but it's a long season. A lot of things can happen between now and then, Sarah. Tom Baker says our backups are starters on other teams, and that is true, especially along our defensive line. Thank you for the comment. Brandon Laporta and his drops killed his rating. Yeah, it did. He had a couple drops in there. What a great game by Jared Goff. I mean, when you look at his rating, I mean, he almost threw it 70% Keel, and he had a whole bunch of drops. I mean, he could have blew that game wide open by, you know, completing a couple of those passes. I mean, JMO had a drop, Laporta had a drop. Just give a little blue Kool-Aid and we will multiply. Yeah. And I don't think as many the Lions don't have as many fair weather fans as other teams. And it's like, just because we're not out running our mouths, it's hard to come out and run your mouth. I mean, what are we supposed to do when we're 3-13? Come out and be like, yeah, we're gonna be good. Like, I mean, you're not proud of it. Yeah, I mean, you want to see your team do good. I watched every single one of those losses over and over and over again. It's like, when is this going to be good? You know, half the fan base is blaming the ownership. The other half of the fan base is blaming Matt Stafford. The other half is blaming Matt Patricia. It's Jim Caldwell's fault. It's like, it's hard to win in the NFL. Rashnish does not like PFF. I don't get why you don't like PFF. I mean, it's definitely not trash. Find me something else instead of just complaining about what I'm using right here. Find me something else that grades offensive and interior defensive linemen in a way that I can kind of get a gauge. PFF will give you a gauge. It's not going to tell you. It's not the end all be all. And I think that's what Rashnish is trying to say here. You can't live and die by PFF. That is not the best player or worst player. It gives you a gauge. They log the snaps. Was he supposed to be was he in the right place that he was supposed to be according to their defenses? They go and they grade these players on every one of their plays, even when the ball isn't coming to them, even when they're not involved in the play. Were you where you were supposed to be? That's how PFF works. And that's what I like about it. But Rashnish is right. If you're just looking at PFF and saying, yeah, this is my guy and he's this good or he's not this good, then you're looking at it wrong. It's a good gauge, where you can look at a guy on a bad team. You can look at some of these like Bears players. Like, I'm going to look in here right now. TJ Edwards and Jack Sanborn had very, your linebacker play, Rashnish. According to PFF, TJ Edwards and Jack Sanborn both had over 90 grades. Jack Sanborn in the run defense were his high grades, and TJ Edwards had a 96.4 pass rushing grade, which means that even in a loss, you can look in there and say, okay, those two guys were lights out better than anybody else on the defense. So you can look and see those standout players. And you had a couple other good ones. Justin Jones had a good game. Elijah Hicks at free safety had a pretty good game. Jalen Johnson had a decent game. Brisker had a good game. Rasheem Green had a good game. So, I mean, you can look at the loss, but then you can kind of, build yourself up a little bit right there. And because there were a couple standout players. So I'm sorry you don't like that, Rashnish, but I'm going to stop talking about that. Let's move on to Aiden right here. Good morning, Russell. What is the big week 9 for the Lions? That's good news for Jack Campbell. What is the big week 9 for the Lions? This is the big week 9 for Jack Campbell. I'm not understanding you there. Clarify a little bit. What is big week? What is big week for week 9? Because we're going into that's the bye, isn't it? Isn't week 9 our bye? One Funky Lions fan's like, if you want to grow this channel, try to get a hold of Tom Grossi and get on his show. You should pick up a few that way. I have no idea who that is. Maybe Tom Grossi should come on my show right there. And I am growing this channel. Actually, to tell you the truth, we have been growing by leaps and bounds over. I wonder if we've crossed the 4,900 mark on our, I'm going to go check it right now. on this Villain Squad. And you guys, man, I mean, this has been fun. I mean, it's nice coming on here and having 1,000 people watch your program every morning when you didn't even think that you were going to have a program. I thought I was going to be practicing this stuff. But let's see. I'm looking at the channel right now, and we are almost. Oh man, we are well over. We're trucking right into 5,000. So if you take the time right now, that's a good segue right here. I guess I just need to promote it more. We are with the Villain Squad. If you're a Lions fan, we represent the Detroit Lions in this NFC North page right here. And we'd love you to come follow the page. We're approaching 5,000 people, and most of them came over the last couple of weeks of winning. And it's been cool. It's been cool to see the growth, like 2,000 or 3,000 people over the last couple of weeks. And it's been amazing. The YouTube channel, we're doing our best with that. We're trying to get it going. We're doing the best that we can. I would love to be in connection with whoever you're talking about right there. One funky Lions fan. Brent says that I love talking about the North. We all have something in common. Sarah says, no way we're extending Kirk for 3 more years at $50 million a year. To have nice stats. I mean, I thought that he was willing to take a pay cut to stay because he wanted to stay. So I don't think a 3-year extension is going to cost you $50 million a year with Kirk. I mean, he's 35 years old. And at this point, I don't know if he wants to play for you, because he offered and he kind of shot him down. So I don't know. Kirk is a good quarterback, and he was definitely not the reason that you lost anything. Your last year, it was definitely your defense. I mean, Kirk did everything that he could, Sarah, but I feel your pain. Single Dads Club, Tom Grossi. It doesn't help content creators anymore. Just a choice few. I've seen creators trying to get him to collaborate, and he straight up says no. Yeah, we've built this thing from the ground up here, and we built it without having to go and beg people for help or anything like that. We've had some great people that just kind of were aligned with us, like the Detroit Lions News. I mean, what you talk about like-minded people. I mean, they have one of the biggest Detroit Lions pages, and they're not affiliated with any of these guys. Like, there's nothing wrong with, having, Braylon Edwards, and, they got Woodward Sports out there. They got a lot of great guys that, have football experience. We're just a bunch of dudes here that like Mike and I are musicians, and we just love talking about football. GT, Grove Teague from And We Know Sports. We're all just, freelancing creators. So we're not affiliated. We're not paid by the Detroit Lions or anything like that. We do this because we love it, man. We do this because we love how we use football to bring family. I'm a family guy. I have a 4-year-old autistic son, and I love to spend time with him. And this type of job for me allows me to be at home with my son. And I love this, guys. Like, I mean, what's better than sitting around and talking football for a living? But it does take a lot of hard work, like they're talking about. And, there's a lot of ways that we can do it. But I believe consistency, just like Dan Campbell says, I believe in consistency. I believe I'll just come here every day with the willingness to talk football with other people who want to talk football, and then we can do it. Yep. Single Dads Clubs started collaborating with lower sub content with creators like Luke Syndicate, Mike Kimber. I know Micro Mike. We almost had him on this show a couple times. It's possible we could get him on here. Since you ate Crow Pinky, I'll go ahead and hit a like. I'm real, Sarah. You know me. You know me. That's why you like me. You know, even though you don't like my team, that's okay. We can still be friends. Jim says, thoughts on the running back situation for the Lions? Thank you. A question. Oh, thank God we got a question. I love reading your comments, but I love answering questions. The running back situation is David Montgomery might miss some time, right? That's what Dan Campbell said. And I got a piece coming out here at like 6:00 tonight that talks about some of the options. And I'll talk about, you got James Robinson's out there. You got Mark Ingram who's out there. Leonard Fournette is out there. I mean, what do you guys think they should do? I mean, Jameer Jefferson, they drafted him in the 7th round. He didn't make the 53-man roster of the practice squad, but he's out there. Jameer Jefferson knows the system. Benny Snell is out there. I mean, he spent training camp with us, so he knows the system a little bit. So I'm not going to buy into any of this, like, Derrick Henry or, trying to trade for Josh Jacobs or somebody that's like, 'cause that's just not in Brad Holmes' MO, right? He doesn't really do that. You know what I'm saying? So, we only had the one. I'm wondering why this thing went so short. And I realized we didn't have a Green Bay game. That's when two teams play each other right there. So we are a little short. You know what? Might as well. I'm going to throw the link out there. I don't mind. Let's have a conversation. I've been talking to myself for long enough here, and I'll keep reading comments here for a second. But I love questions. Keep the questions coming. I love that. I hope that answered your question, because I don't know. Let's see. Let's talk about the bye week. I guess Russell believes in mock drafts. What does that mean? I don't get it. Tom Grossi has like 700,000 subs. Yeah, ESPN has like a million subs. I wish I could just get hooked up with ESPN. I don't know this guy. I don't just reach out to random people and just be like, "Hey, dude, let me be on your show." I mean, I'm hoping that we can get big enough that we get noticed by somebody, and I'll go on somebody's show if they ask me right there. Just like Sarah. She says, "Hey, I want to come on your show." And I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?"
Hey, I told you 2 weeks ago you guys were better than the Eagles. So I gave you guys credit then.
Very good. Yeah, I'm still blown away with what we're going through.
I still think San Fran is number 1, but I think you guys are number 2. I think you guys are better than the Chiefs, the Eagles. Who else is there?
I mean, San Fran's the one that everybody thinks that we're not better than, but they just lost McCaffrey. But I don't know. I mean, to me, I don't even care like if somebody would say that we're better or not better than those teams. I mean, just to be talked about like those teams, because they're known as like, a cut
Yeah,
above the rest, right? So
right. No, but you guys definitely look way better than the Eagles. The Eagles don't impress me at all because like they've just been squeaking by with close
right.
wins. I mean, they had like 1 or 2 wins that was more than one possession, but they don't look that great. And the Chiefs aren't looking. I don't even know if they're gonna repeat as conference champions.
Right. So it's like the further that we get down the line, it's like the less impressive that Chiefs win is looking, because, even though they're 5-1, it's like they have the same knock that we do, which is we haven't played anybody. And, and
Yeah, but
if we,
with the Chiefs, they're even struggling against these shitty ass teams.
right. So our win against a Travis Kelce less Chiefs doesn't look as impressive the more and more that they play these, stinkers of games, Oh, we got 2 more in there. Check it out. Welcome to the program, Chad.
What's up, Russell? Hi, Sarah. Nice to hear your voice finally.
And then we got A-Dub as well.
A-Dub.
What's good, people? What's good,
is
people?
good? It's PFF Tuesday,
Hey,
and
Doug,
I can't get to the weekend fast enough because I cannot wait to drive to Baltimore and be there at that stadium. It's such a good feeling to know that you could start 1-6 and then poetically flip that around. There's an opportunity that we could actually mirror image last year and start 6-1. What do you think about that, Chad?
I love it, man, and I'm going to represent Dallas. My girlfriend's daughter spent $800 on 2 tickets, so we have to get tomorrow. We're flying out there, and we are representing Honolulu Blue in Dallas.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That plastic Dallas team, that team that, like, every time Dallas even sniffs a good team, they start calling them Super Bowl contenders. And it's like you want to talk about an overrated team. Dallas has been that for the last 10 freaking years. What do you think, A-Dub?
Yeah, that gets annoying when you have to hear them say that they're going to be Super Bowl champions every year. And I just watched them barely get past the Chargers last night.
Not too impressive. Not too impressive.
No,
and these are supposed to be these teams that are, like it chews me up on the inside a little bit when people dismiss the Lions. Like a lot of people, I would say a vast majority, especially in our own division, like dismiss them like we're not on the caliber of these teams. But you got a San Francisco team that just lost to the Browns. And you have the Philadelphia Eagles who just lost to the MILF Hunter.
The Jets. And
we win 4 double-digit wins in a row in the NFL, and we're not one of the best teams. You got to talk me out of that one if you want. If you're trying to, if you're not trying to do, that's cool. But in the comments,
well, what about
try and talk me out of that?
Our defense is top 10 in every category, aren't we?
The defense is historically good, Chad. I've never seen a Lions defense like this. This looks like if you remember I think it was 2011 when we had Swartz and we were 5-0. Do you remember it was the San Francisco 49ers were the team that we ran into to give us our first loss. And I remember after that game, and that was the famous handshake with Harbaugh, like hitting him too hard. I don't know if you remember that game.
I remember it.
But I remember having Ndamukong Suh thinking, yeah, we're this greatest defense, and then we just got out physicaled by a team, and they punched us in the face. And they out physical. They outmanned us. And I remember in that game thinking, gosh, I wish we had a team like that you knew, even though we didn't have the greatest players in the skill positions and all these other positions, but up front, where it counted, where the fight was, I want a team that can beat the shit out of people. And we finally have a team, Chad, that can beat the shit out of people.
Amen. You're going to see a win this weekend. I'm going to be looking for you in the nose.
Oh, I'm scared, man. The last couple of weeks, when you're playing teams like Tampa Bay and you're playing Green Bay on the road, but this is not the same Green Bay. Atlanta, you had to win those games, right? Like those are like these middle tier teams that if you want to be a good team, you got to beat those middle tier teams. But the Baltimore game, it's like in the mind of a Lions fan, you can lose that game and sleep without having to feel like your team's trash, right? Because that's a good team.
Their defense is nowhere near. They're not going to stop the run like Tampa.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a pretty good defense. And
it's not going to stop the run like Tampa. No way.
Well, let's
Baltimore
hope.
is
Let's hope
not.
that
They're-
Jamison Williams and Jameer Gibbs all bust out, because I'm pretty sure that Gibbs is going to play this week, and they keep on going back and forth. They can't keep these running backs both healthy at the same time. But
Yeah. When it comes to the Ravens,
Do they have a
the
guy
most notable. I was going to say, when it comes to the Ravens, the most notable guys I've recognized best on their defense are guys like Roquan Smith, Patrick Queen, and their safety, Kyle Hamilton. Those guys are who I recognize best on their D.
yeah, they're always. I mean, Roquan Smith is playing at like as good of a level as he's ever played, and that's Baltimore. They're notoriously, it's like throwing gasoline on a fire, putting a guy that good on a defense like that. And Lamar Jackson can make your life a living hell whenever he just decides to. So I'm not a fan of this matchup right here this week
The
for
Ravens
the
are
Lions.
Who are they going to put in?
the
Sorry,
Ravens
Sarah, go
are
ahead.
so up and down though. They're like I don't trust them at all, because then they'll lose to like a bad team, but then they'll win against a good team, or I don't know. They're just so up and down that you don't know which Ravens team you're getting on Sunday.
Well, let's hope we get the shittiest version of them so we can get the W and get out of there. But like this is one of those games. I don't consider it a trap game, because I just think it's a battle of two good teams. They're two division leading teams that are trying to hold on to their division hold, and I think it's gonna be a good matchup. I mean, I think we'll win. I do think we'll win the game, but I am more scared of this team than I have been since we played Seattle.
Who do they have to cover Laporta? Come on, man. They don't have anybody that's going to stick like glue on him like Tampa did.
I mean, I'm hoping. I'm hoping. I hope our offensive line can hold up. I mean, we have one of the best offensive lines. They keep Goff clean. Baltimore's done. I mean, I think we could beat them up. I think we could get another double-digit win if they can keep Jared Goff clean. And like you said, run the ball a little bit and be able to, get back up to that 4 or 5 yards of carry, moving people out the way.
Yeah, that wasn't happening against Tampa. They Goff threw for 350 yards because they were stopping the run. That was their game plan.
Yeah. And when it comes to the Ravens, the most notable targets they got on offense, their two top receivers I know at best will be their rookie receivers, Zay Flowers, as well as their current new addition, OBJ. And then there's their tight end, Mark Andrews. That's somebody that they'll have to watch out for.
And the Lions, to your point, A-Dub, are like, if there's any weakness on the defense, it's versus the tight ends. They do give up quite a few yards to tight ends. But I think a lot of that is schematically too. Like if you're moving the play and you're kind of funneling and making the offense throw the ball, you might as well throw it to the least athletic person on the field, which is, it's usually not a wide receiver. So having that funneled in there, because you saw that like during the Atlanta game, right? Nobody was, they had really no stats, but they had, between their tight ends, it was like 9 catches for 90 yards between the two tight ends, and nobody else even had a catch. So it's like something about the Lions defense funnels the playmaking, gives them no choices on the outside, and makes them throw it in the middle of the field so our linebackers can clean it up. But sometimes they don't work. Sometimes tight ends light us up, but they haven't yet this year.
Question for you guys. What happened to the commish last week? Never heard his name called.
Let me look. Let's see. You saying last week? Like,
yeah, against Tampa.
Oh, okay. Let me look in here. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I love PFF. I don't care what Rajneesh says. PFF, I'm not very smart, and sometimes I feel like PFF makes me feel like I'm smart. Let's see. Defense. Let's look in here. The Kamish. Yeah, Kaminsky did not have he didn't have an awful game. It looks like he had a 60.9 grade, 64 grade against the run, and did not have a good game tackling. Oh, no, wait. No, that's not him. I'm looking at the wrong guy. And he had a 57 grade at pass rushing. So he had an off game. That's a good call out right there in PFF back you up.
The slack. Anzalone picked up the slack. No question about that.
Cameron Sutton had his best game of the year as well. Cameron Sutton was the highest graded Lions defender, and Anzalone was second. And yeah, we got really, really good play. We had 5 guys that had over 70 grades, which on your defense, 5 of your guys are playing at a high level, then you usually have a good game. All the other guys, fall in.
When was the last time we could say this, Russ? When one guy's not playing up to what his standards normally are, the next guy steps right up and takes over.
Yep. Yeah, they did a very good job. When you look at their team, they had good grades on their offensive line. They did a good job at protecting with some of their guys. Their highest graded players, Tristan Wirfs, Matt Fuller, and Luke Gadecki, who was actually blocking Hutchinson all night and doing a good job at it. So, they did a good job at defending, even though they weren't getting the hurries and they weren't disrupting like usual. And
one sack,
Dan
right?
Campbell. Only 1 sack, but Dan Campbell was saying that, somebody that, Hutchinson was getting doubled. So what he was providing, what they had to do to stop him was showing up on other parts of the field where other players like Anzalone were able to have free runs to run right in and make a tackle and stuff like that. So it is a full team effort. And when you look at their PFF grades, it backs it up because you're going back. Let's see, there's 9 players that had a 60 or above. Oh no, wait, 12 players that had 60 or above grades on defense, which that just means that everybody that's coming in is being solid. When you don't have that drop off, there's not a bunch of red. Your team's playing good. You can watch it. You can see it.
By the way, Russell, to clear something up, that name you mentioned, Tom Grossi, actually his name is Tom Grossi. I happen to watch his podcast. Yeah, I know who the guy is because I watch his podcast a lot, and he's a diehard Packers fan like me. And he happened to own a podcast almost the same as yours, where he's broadcasting everything Green Bay related.
Okay. That's cool. Hey, I'll work with I invite, this is a platform because I don't look at me as like a podcast, like I'm the only podcast, right? I'm setting a platform up so, Mike the Bear fan can come in and Bill the Packer fan can come in and We Know Sports can come in. And I have a lot of friends that do this type of stuff. And I always want a main event and this platform to just be open for anybody to come in and, and rap about football. So when we get into the trash talking, we need a good Vikings one.
I'm thinking about starting a podcast, Sarah the Bike Queen.
Yeah, well, I know awesome. That Darcy would love that one. He'd love to.
Yeah, I know, and I know a few Viking fans that'll appreciate it too.
Because that's what he calls the Vikings. He calls them the Vikings, and that would be funny that if you actually come out with a podcast named that. That would be awesome.
I'd support it.
So I would too. And she could come on here and promote that anytime that she wanted to, because she's like the best Viking fan that I know, even better than Jamez. Man, I don't know where Jamez has been.
Yeah,
he might have got clipped.
He's hiding because he's got 2 bets with me, and he's hiding.
Oh, come on. Jamez ain't like that. I hope not.
Yeah,
But
Oh,
Dan Campbell will tell you why. You know why?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Oh,
Oh, and by the way, Chad, I think I've seen a comment where I've seen some folks said you were crazy about what you said about Detroit and Green Bay. I know you mentioned Green Bay will make the playoffs, but I think I've seen some comments of people saying you were crazy for that.
they're at least 9 wins. At least. Their schedule's
all
easy
right.
going on.
Yeah, but they just that one they just lost. That's a that's a killer.
Like,
When
Yeah,
you're
it's
looking at that.
like our loss
I mean,
to Seattle.
you thought no, that's not the same. Seattle is a way, way, way better team than the Raiders. The Raiders are a team that was on your schedule that have problems that that you should win. And I brought that up last week before the game. I thought that the Packers would win that game by double digits. That's such a good
yeah.
thing. But
One would say we should have, but but a lot of things went wrong that we didn't expect, such as the bad play from Jordan Love. The play calling was not up to par. Like, we didn't plan around a certain absence of Aaron Jones at the time.
right. But I mean, you got another winnable game this week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to get in there and get it done. I mean, that if you lose to the Broncos, I feel you. Like, if you lose to the Broncos, how are you as a fan supposed to back the team that just lost to the worst team, right? I mean, that is you got a team that that got 70 put up on them. Like Jordan Love, if he's going to get it together,
Love stinks.
he has to do well in that game for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles and Niners killed my pick'em.
And Russell Wilson himself. So we know what kind of quarterback he is. He's definitely not a slouch, but it ain't that much he's got offensively.
Right. Oh, let's go into these comments right here. Let's see if we got anybody asking a question. How the hell are they supposed to know what they don't know when they don't know the playbook? Sometimes I get in the middle of these conversations and I don't know where they started because it just pops. But Sarah needs to buy a storage unit for the Bears fans to hide in.
You like that?
Oh, that was good.
You like that?
I got to give you a 3 on that one, dude. That was pretty good. Brian says that Steven, a ranked Detroit number 1 on his top 5 list. Stephen A. I got something coming out on that too, because he says for now. When Stephen A says, like, I'm going to talk about the Detroit Lions are the number 1 team in the NFC for now. Right? That means that's weak, Stephen A. I'm going to call you out on that because
he also said if they beat Baltimore, this is for real. He did say that.
Okay, and that's fine. But this is what I'm talking about out there. This is where I think I separate myself from other people that do this thing. These wishy-washy ass takes that give you like this back into a nice little spot after I'm all nice and cozy stuff. What a bullshit take that is by Stephen A. For now.
Well, I find it ironic that the media hates Kirk so much, yet they are like, trade Kirk to the Falcons and they'll become contenders. Trade Kirk to the Jets and they'll be good. And I'm like, but you guys hate him so much. You guys keep saying that he's like a choker. He can't win in big games. So why are you trying to like have the Vikings trade him away? It just doesn't make sense.
I want the Vikings to trade him away, but I'm one of the Kirk truthers. I think I'm one of the only. Am I one of the last remaining defenders of the great Kirk Cousins? Are you kidding me?
Oh, no, you aren't. There's like a whole Kirk Crusaders out there.
Yeah, but I'm talking outside of your
Good
own
effect.
fan base, like, I mean, outside of the fan base, those are the ones that call them the chokers. But I think I think he's been a great quarterback his whole career. Like, he's just been underappreciated in Washington, underappreciated in Minnesota. Wherever he's going to go, I'm sure he'll be underappreciated.
You like that?
He probably
Kirk
doesn't.
goes to the East. They
I mean, he's solid. I mean, he is solid. Did I just must have just lost Chad.
Yeah, his connection must.
That was
his
a
connection
mic
must have
drop.
been bad. His connection
No, that
must
was
have
a
been
mic
bad.
drop right there. He's out. He's like, boom. Yep. Use bad. Pow. I'm out. Right. And then he had somebody cover him up like James Brown did, with the coat. Hi. I feel good. Sorry, Bear fans don't hide from nobody. Damn, Rajneesh. I don't think I'd ever mess with Rajneesh. I got to be nice to Rajneesh. I wouldn't want Rajneesh to come and find me. But I believe Rajneesh when he says that he ain't hiding from nobody. Scotty's got a big gold thumbs up right there. Aiden says, I did look at the schedule and I don't know what is big week 9 is. I don't know. I don't know where you're going with that, Aiden. I feel like I'm on the outside of an inside joke with that one. I don't have Lions at 1. I have them at 2. Gosh, I'm way behind. Let me get I got way behind on these comments, didn't I, Sarah?
Yeah, I said that like 2 hours ago.
Yeah, it seems like, okay, I'm going to go up a little bit here. 30 of 30 right there was awesome. He raised 1 million, right? A-Dub, did you watch Tom Novin's Voyage of the 32 Teams? There's Chad back.
Now we lost A-Dub.
Now we lost A-Dub. What is going on here? Xfinity's just like messing with me. I mean, I don't even know why. I did nothing to you guys.
What happened to Woody? I haven't seen Woody in a while.
They're still doing their show. I give Mike and Woody credit. They still do their Hallis Hall on Wednesdays, and they still do it on Sunday mornings. And I know that's hard, man. Gosh, it was brutal, doing podcast shows.
Yep.
At 0-8 in 2021 with 6 people watching and going, oh my God.
I mean, what is there really to say? We suck.
Well, I mean, we break it down, we go in, we try to find silver linings, that's our job.
Delusional Vikings fans still think we can make a run. I'm like, have you seen our team? We don't have a contending roster team. We're not going to be able to make a run. It's over.
You never know. It is the NFL. It's so funny how things work through the NFL, and there's an ebb and flow of the season. And it's like, I know that the Lions, even though it feels good right now, like tape, in the NFL, they live and die on this tape. And these guys are so smart, Sarah, that it takes a couple of weeks of these offensive coordinators and these position coaches going through some of this tape, and they come up with ways to stop the shit that's been working for you.
Yeah, so, but look at our wins. We barely squeaked by against the 2 worst teams. Okay, that doesn't give me confidence.
But you won 11 games last year under the same fashion. It's like your ticker was this way last year, where you're winning all those close games, and this year it's the opposite. So it's like your team's not bad. I mean, actually, to tell you the truth, when I look at your PFF scores, I see Brian Flores taking I can't even pronounce half the guys on your team. I don't even know who these guys are, and they're playing good. Like, they may not be winning all the games, but they're playing decent for being nobodies,
I did say to you that he would be able to get the best out of these nobodies.
And he is absolutely doing that. But I mean, Brian Flores deserves all the credit in the world for, I mean, it isn't really even the defense that is, you'd be complaining about. You got no Justin Jefferson, and you got a little bit of the offense to complain about over the last couple of weeks, but the defense actually been stepping up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with our defense. It's the offense that's pissing me off, because they were supposed to be a high-powered offense, and fraud. That's all I got to say.
And look at it. I mean, they still have San Fran, and they still have
Bengals.
And the Bengals.
I think the two hardest teams left on our
Chiefs.
schedule are San Fran and Bengals.
What about the Chiefs? You still have them?
We play them already.
Oh, you did? Okay. So yeah, those are still two really hard games.
Yeah, they already took that L, Chad.
Yeah, and then you got to play the Lions twice.
Yeah, but by then we're not going to be in contention. That it won't matter.
Now let me paint this for you, and this is like the ultimate troll right here for you, Zara. You might even appreciate this as a rival fan. So we get into week 8. The Lions look like they're running away with this division, and I think that they will. I think they'll kind of do what you guys did last year. It's going to be so far at the end, right? So when we get to 16 and 18, it won't mean anything. So how about this? Week 18, we got to rest our starters, right? And then in comes our backup quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater, to come in the revenge game to put the beat down to you one more time with the backup too. What do you think about that?
I don't even care as long as it gets us a better draft pick.
You like that?
Oh no, it's Bridgewater, Chad. The Minnesota did Bridgewater so dirty, dude. I mean, he busted that leg, and they're like, are they gonna wait for him to come back from the ACL? No, they go and they do the Kirk Cousins thing, and they move on, and they're like, peace out.
You want to know what's funny? Teddy Bridgewater was Mike Zimmer's favorite quarterback. He did not like Keenum. He did not like Kirk. He wanted Bridgewater, but Spielman thought we were a Kirk away, and 5-6 years later, Kirk's still here.
The Lions, kind of did, a couple of the players dirty with the contracts and stuff, and they paid for it. That's a karma thing. And the way you guys treated Teddy Bridgewater, you deserve some karma for that. And maybe you are kind of in it right now. Maybe you're just kind of in that karma space right there. But man, Teddy was pretty good when he came out. Before he busted that leg, he looked like he was going to be worth the first round pick, And then he's never really been the same since the leg injury, in your defense, from a business standpoint. But human beings in business, gosh, I hate how that relationship has went over the years.
I think like Kirk is as polarizing to us as JMO is as polarizing to you guys.
I don't know what to expect from this guy. I mean, JMO, what a crazy topic that is. So here's a guy, right? We're in week 7 of his second year. He's had like 9 touches. 4 of them went for touchdowns. 2 of the touchdowns got called back on a penalty. So it's like, half the time this guy touches the ball on a target, he drops it. The other half, he scores a touchdown. Like, what do we get here with this kid? Like, where are you at with Jameson Williams, Chad?
That play last week where he made 3 different moves. He went from his right side to his left side, and then came back in to make the reception. A lot of receivers wouldn't have been able to do that, and it would have been picked. What he did, that was an incredible play. That makes up for the drop he had earlier.
Okay, that's what I was waiting to hear from you right there. That's where I want to hit these Lions fans up that are out there, because I know that we got this little divide thing happening with the Jameson Williams crowd right here. But what side are you on? I mean, does that touchdown catch, does that change things for you? Are you feeling a lot better about Jameson Williams, or are you still like, oh, I need to see some more on this kid? But put that in the comments. I want to know what you think out there, One Pride Nation.
Russell, he had his guy beat by about 10 feet, and he really did have to come back for that ball for the touchdown.
Yeah. Yeah, Jared's
Golf
going to have to
understood.
realize that he's fast. Super duper fast. Like every time he touches the ball, it's electric. I remember the first time that he did touch the ball was on that little end around play, and I remember I'll never forget Main Event Mike's reaction in the Lions Den, because his jaw dropped to the ground. He looks over at me, he goes, "Oh my gosh, look at how fast he is!" And he's got a different gear. I mean, I think that he's Tyreek Hill fast, maybe even faster, like man amongst boys kind of speed. And if he can get it together, man, I mean, we got 4 more years with this kid, 3 more years for sure. So I don't know. We don't need him.
If he gets healthy, stays healthy, he'll get a second contract with Detroit.
I love the way they're treating him. And it's like everybody from the outside just does not get the Lions culture, because Dan Campbell is just, it's a competition thing, guys. It's like, I actually think that he's built a harder competition within the Lions organization than it comes into the Sundays. Like, to make the team and to make that next position, if you want that linebacker position, you got to earn that spot, the practices. I think that competition in that room, and it is hard. And Jameson's trying to figure it out, right? You got Amon-Ra in front of you. Josh Reynolds is in front of you. Sam Laporta is in front of you. Khalif Raymond is in front of you.
Khalif.
Yeah. So all of these guys are in front of you, and everyone's like, "Whoa, what's wrong with?" There's nothing wrong with Jameson. We just have a good wide receiver room, and he has to earn his reps. Now, turning around and making a great adjustment to that catch and catching that touchdown catch, I do believe he'll get some more targets next week. I think he has earned those targets for next week. So I would caution the haters out there.
No block, no rock. That's Dan's motto. And you see JMO out there blocking.
Yep. Last week, that block that he had on that David Montgomery run, I mean, he tossed that little kid. I mean, it looked like a little kid throwing a big kid on the ground. Like, but he pancaked him. He pancaked that DB on that touchdown run by Montgomery. And that block, that Craig Reynolds, I mean, I'm changing the subject. Let's get to no block, no rock. On that Amon-Ra touchdown might be the block of the season. Like, that was like, yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Get it.
Woo. We're going to bite a kneecap off.
That's what biting a kneecap.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
That isn't just an MO.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
It went from a 12-yard first down, which it would have been, to a touchdown of how many yards was it? 20.
I thought it was like 30 yards, but yeah. All right, we got a couple of these comments. Okay, thank you for the comments in here. So Jordan says that JMO is just getting started. He stuck underneath that an underthrown ball and made it a TD. Yeah, I think that he threw it in a place where he could make that play. I mean, you didn't want to throw it out of the end zone, so I think that he did underthrow it, but that's a hard throw. Good adjustment. JMO will be just fine. We just need him to. We need him so we can challenge coverages. Now, one of the things that Jameson does that, like, even on plays that he's not on, like, if you notice, the minute that he goes out there, these guys are playing 20 yards off of him. They don't want none of his speed getting him underneath or anything like that. So immediately, if you got coverages that have to back up, that completely opens up your run lane. That is going to completely help the run game 100, because they have to respect that speed on the back end.
Opens the middle for St. Brown too, and Laporta.
And opens it and Laporta. Yeah, that's what this offense can put you into a trick bag when Jameson Williams is out there. You zig, I'll zag. And you can't really do anything about it.
Dude,
JMO will be just
third and long. Third and 12, and Campbell took the shot Campbell and Ben took the shot.
Take it.
Yeah,
And now they'll be able to do it. Like, you can use Jamison Williams like you're playing chess. It's like having two queens. I mean, you're allowed to move him on. You got an offense you have to contend with, a top 5 offense that you added Jamison Williams to. So now this top 5 offense can say, I can put you wherever your bitch is, wherever your bitch player is. We're gonna pick on that guy. Yeah, let's line Jamison there. And what are you gonna do about it? You still got to cover Amon-Ra. You still got to cover Laporta. You still got to cover the run out of the backfield. So Jamison is like having an extra queen in a chess game.
And doesn't he require 2 deep, but safety and a corner?
Yeah,
I mean, if he's going downfield running X, you need 2. You need a safety deep and a corner deep.
He's young, has to learn directions right there. Yep, I think that we got a lot of that. But I'm up against it, guys. I mean, it's 12:30. We had thank you guys for coming on, for sure. Like, every once in a while, I don't do this every day anymore because we actually have agendas now. It's amazing. But once in a while, I'll invite you guys on here. I appreciate you guys coming on here. I do have to do some promotion here before I let everybody go. But we do have the NFC North open mic that airs every single Monday at 7 p.m. And then right now you are watching NFC North Talk with your host, Russell Wayne. And we do this every morning, 11 a.m. Eastern time. And we have fun talking football. This is what we love to do. We love football so much that we talk about it in the off season. When nobody else is talking about football, we're talking about football. We don't care. We love it. So 365 days a year, the Villain Squad, we're putting out content into our page. So please go give us a follow. If you're a Bear fan, go ahead and give Mike the Bear fan a follow right there, and he'll be hooking you up with Bears content. Detroit Lions news. I mean, we can't thank you guys enough allowing us to broadcast into your 61,000 person network of people that love the Detroit Lions. We love it. But we're getting our page started. We're barreling towards 5,000 right now. We need less than 100 people. Go give us a follow. Help us hit that marker right there, because following, subscribing, hitting the like button on a video, that's free, folks. And if you're watching this right now, then you're obviously a football fan. So we appreciate you. So I'm going to leave you with this, how I love leaving you right here. I got to say the blessing over your life because I love you, because I do love you. So may the Lord keep you. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. One Pride. Yeah. Wow. It's a great show. This is the last call time right here. You know, this is the wind down. You know, after you go do a workout and you hit that, you're doing those sprints, you're doing that sprint. You got to do the cool down, right? You got the 5-minute cool down. You all been to Planet Fitness before. Come on. Get the cool down. You got 5 minutes. You got to bring the heart rate down a little bit. And And while you're doing that, thank you for watching the broadcast today. And we are trying to build that YouTube channel. So here's the link from today's broadcast going into the YouTube channel. We'd appreciate it if you guys hop on there, give us a like, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 1,000. We go live every single day. We do this 11 a.m. NFC North Talk with Russell Wayne. That's me. Hit that QR code. That'll take you right to the YouTube too. Yeah, how you doing? Yeah, these Detroit Lions. Right there, that's the Don. That's Don Campbell, the Don. When Don gives an order, we gotta make sure that we carry things out to a T. See, the boss didn't like what Baker Mayfield was saying. And he says, hey, Hutch, commission, I need you to send a couple guys down to Tampa. We need to make Baker see things, make him see things our way. And could take care of business. Our friend Jared Goff was in trouble. He's down there. He owns a restaurant in Tampa. He needs some protection. They got some big guys down there. What are we going to do? We should just send Frankie. You think we should send Frankie? Yeah, we should send Frankie. Frank the Tank? Yeah, we'll send Frank. We'll send Deck. No, leave Jonah back. Leave Jonah back. I gotta talk to Jonah. Send down Vitae. All right. Come back. Now we gotta go to Baltimore. Nobody wants to go to Baltimore. Come on. I want to go to Baltimore. It's a big game. It's a big game. Two division leaders. Oh, thank you so much for watching today's broadcast. Join us on Mondays too. NFC North Open Mic with your host, Main Event Mike. Just paying attention if you're watching that on YouTube right now. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. The Main Event 365. That's the Lions main. The Lions main event. Ah, here comes that time. I love being able to end. This is the way I love to be able to end the show right here. If there's any Packer fans watching, this is just for you. Bunch of crybabies, bunch of crying. Want to go see the Green Bay Packers win? Turn on the History Channel, because this is the here and the now. It's the Lions' time. The Packers are about ready to shrink down to irrelevancy. You know why?
Love stinks.
Because love stinks. You missed. You got a miss of a quarterback. He's awful. He will be exposed by every good defense he ever plays against. He's going to throw a whole bunch of picks. You guys are going to be all kinds of mad. And you're going to be doing this little Quay Walker thing. God bless you. Talk to you tomorrow.
It's not fair. They were so happy. It's not going to be okay.
What's going on, Russell Wayne and the Main Event 365 Network? This is Jason Kabinda from the Detroit Lions. Here to give y'all a shout out, man. We appreciate all the support, man. Know you guys are big fans. Know that you guys are rooting for us to take the North this year, and we're going to do just that, man. Appreciate you guys so much. Just want to give y'all a shout out. Y'all have a great day.